Well, here is Sheku Kane-Mason, 17 years old, cellist from Nottingham. He's played a piece by Shostakovich in every single round of this competition so far, so there was really only one choice for tonight. The Cello Concerto #1.
Quite simply, he's the best young cellist around at the moment in the world. Sheku has something just that little bit different.
He just touches you. He just projects this incredible aura when he plays. He and his cello are one.
There's a fierce side of that boy that we don't see away from the cello. He encompasses a massive range of emotions and feelings. He tells that story through the cello.
It's very significant that he is the first black winner of Young Musician of the Year. He has to realise the power of one moment, the power of one action, the power of one individual. If you choose to step into that role, one person can be extremely powerful.
The winner of the BBC Young Musician 2016 is Sheku Kane-Mason.
The moment when my name was called out was an amazing feeling. I've always wanted to win Young Musician. I've always wanted to be the best at what I do. And I knew, obviously, if I work really hard, then anything is possible. And so, yeah, I worked hard.
Sheku is one of 7 incredibly talented siblings who all share a love of classical music.
My family are very big and very loud and take up all my waking hours and they are a source of incredible joy. I think other people would probably be fascinated by the fact that they all play music. The fact that they all have the same interest is probably a surprise. They are very individual, all the children, but they are passionate about the same thing.
The Kane-Masons' house is always alive with music. They have 4 pianos, 4 violins, 3 cellos and a viola. But luckily, no close neighbours.
This is the hallway where we use our whole practice, if we're playing on our sextet or trios or quartets. And here's the playroom, and then this is the sofa, and then we've just got a piano, which is I think this is the piano I like practicing on because it's just got a nice touch.
They all practice anywhere they can in bizarre spaces.
I practice in the green bathroom, I think because I can play in front of the mirror.
They practice in the kitchen, in the playroom, in the lounge.
Here's the lounge. Sheku usually likes to practice in here, and he always tightens the music stands low, so you can never wind them up again to play the violin. So sometimes you have to play the violin sitting down.
They'll practice anywhere, in the bedrooms, in the landing, anywhere.
If you practice the violin in here, it echoes around, so it makes the violin sound really nice and loud.
I stop them practicing in the bathrooms as much as I can, because with the stringed instruments it all sounds wonderful and it's effortless. So I try and make them practice in places like the hallway, where you have to work a bit harder. given piano lessons from the age of 8. It was very basic, and I didn't have the musical opportunities that the children do, but I absolutely loved it. Other people are probably intrigued as to how it's all happened, and I think there's lots of theories. I think people probably think we whip our children nightly, and I think they're probably intrigued to see, is it a joyful thing that they all play, or is it a painful, hard-working thing?
Isata, their eldest child, began to play the piano aged 6.
I think we first realised the talent with Isata when she was very young. She excelled at school, and in fact excelled a bit too fast. And so we really started her with music as something to fill up her mind and to stop her being bored.
By age 11, she had achieved the highest marks in the country for grade 7 and grade 8 piano.
There were just a few pieces that I used to listen to, and I used to just love them, and I just really enjoyed performing, and then it just kind of went from there.
By the time she was 18, she had been awarded the prestigious Elton John Scholarship at the Royal Academy of Music, where she will soon be followed by her brother, Brymer.
When Brymer started the violin, we were really struck by how musical he was, and then it just went on from there.
Well, I start at the Royal Academy in September, so today I'll probably do wherever my bark is. Probably do some bark, I think, and then call it a day.
Sheku was the first child to decide to play the cello.
The moment he picked up the cello, you could see that this was something that he was always going to do, and his focus and his passion and his seriousness about it was incredible. He could put the cello down and be a normal boy, come back to the cello, and he would transform. It is similar with the rest of the children, but I think Sheku goes into a completely different world when he plays music, and it's as though he becomes a completely different person, and that is quite magical and quite special.
When he won BBC Young Musician, I think the other children felt as if they won. Because I think when someone in your family achieves well, you know essentially they're not that different from you.
When Sheku won, I cried a lot. I cried through like his whole performance. And when he won, it was like being in a dream. Like, you've seen it on TV so many times, people holding that trophy, but it's very different when it's your brother. It's an amazing feeling.
This is like Sheiky's trophies for winning BBC Young Musician. I've never won a trophy. I mean, I won one for acting, but I'm still just, not doing anything much.
But it's not only Sheku's family who are delighted by his win. A concert has been organised in his hometown of Nottingham to celebrate the cellist's recent success.
I'm very excited for this concert because my school are bringing about 30 or 40 kids down, so that should be really exciting. Purely because in these kind of concerts you don't tend to see a large number of young people, and so it's great to have so many people my age come to the concert.
When we saw Sheku had won live, it was just overwhelming, felt really proud, very emotional. But since then, he's returned, done his exams, carried on as normal. It's just really nice to see that although he's had this potentially life-changing event, he's stayed incredibly grounded.
Children need support from their parents or family, key family members. So we've always tried to make sure that one or other of us is there at a concert. Because I always think that whenever you're performing, when you look out in the audience, it kind of feels real if you see somebody there that you love. So we'll move heaven and earth to get somebody at a concert.
Performing on stage with Sheku today are some people very special to him.
I'm playing with former winner of BBC Young Musician of the Year, Guy Johnston, my current teacher, Ben Davis, my first teacher, Sarah Hewson, and my sister, Jennifer.
So I first met Sheku in Nottingham. He must have been 9 years old. His teacher, Sarah, invited me to come and give a class to some young, talented students, and there was Sheku playing. I was just kind of blown away. I just thought, wow, what a naturally gifted musician. When we were rehearsing, my hairs were standing up on end. It's just a quality to his playing and to his aura and to his being that is all-inclusive. Even when he's not playing, he's listening to the others and sharing ideas and playing with colour, playing with sound and just full of imagination.
I started teaching Sheku at age 6 and I taught him up until the age of 9, at which point he took his grade 8 and he received the highest marks in the UK for grade 8 cello. So I rang him, I think, to tell him the news, and he very shyly and modestly just said thank you, and he's a very quiet boy.
I'd love to know what the magic has been on his path. It's going to be really fascinating to see where he goes from here.
Weekdays for the Cannet Masons begin early. With Stuart working away Monday to Friday, it's up to Caddy to get all the children up and off to school.
It's very sleepy. I've got lots of grumpy teenagers to get up.
Sheku? Yeah. OK, just reminding you of the time.
Everyone takes breakfast very seriously. They're always hungry, always eat. They eat a lot. And then it's just getting them out of the door in time. Sheku's the worst. He's always the one who hasn't got his shoes on, he hasn't got his clothes on, he's lost his comb.
These two always practice in the morning, because they leave later, so they have more time in the morning.
Fingering.
We should leave, like, now, if Brian is ready.
Now Brymer has passed his driving test, he gives Sheku and his precious cello a lift to school.
I'm driving very safely this morning, checking my mirrors.
Trinity was definitely the choice we made very early on. For them to go to a school where everybody understands what music means or should mean. And it's in the school curriculum, it's understood as something that's valuable.
Sheku has just taken his music, maths and physics AS levels.
This ball is further away from the magnet.
Yeah.
It's easier to be released than this ball.
I got 2 A's and a B in my maths physics. It was okay. I mean, considering that the maths exam was pretty soon after my Young Musician final.
He doesn't want to leave school yet. He wants to finish his schoolwork. He wants to finish his A-levels. He wants to be at home for another year. So he's being very sensible about it. I think that's the right thing to do. I think if you're suddenly thrown into the limelight, then you need time to get used to it and you need to know what you're doing.
Most of the people at Trinity know that the Carrie Masons are like the prodigies in music, like they're these amazing people.
My nana lives in Wales and she knows all about the Carrie Masons.
In school, the Cannet Masons are just like any other children in one respect. People know who they are, perhaps because they've seen them play, but on the other hand, they just get on with things as any other child would do. They've got to keep up with the homework and they've got to get their lessons, and in that respect, they're just the same. They really shine out when there's opportunities for them to do their thing.
find I can focus very well here, despite being the place that I study physics and play football. I think everyone here understands music, and when someone walks through when I'm practicing, they're always very quiet. They don't interrupt or anything, and I think that's really great for me when I'm practicing.
Just remember to be calm and enjoy it, okay? There's no need to be nervous.
This morning, Mum Caddy is taking 10-year-old Aminata to school to do her grade 5 piano exam.
Just think about the music, you'll be absolutely fine.
A bit nervous, but you hope that I'll do as well as last time. I might not get the same this time, so I hope to get higher.
Aminata wants to keep up with the rest of the family.
I want to be as good as them, otherwise I feel I haven't, made it. So if I can be as good as them, and then I'll be happy.
You're next.
Yesterday she was really nervous, making 100 mistakes a minute. But this morning she's just much happier. I think she's glad it's going to be over really soon. When your child wants something and is working incredibly hard for it, you just want it to work for them.
Well done, really, really well done.
How was today?
Good. Good.
As soon as they come home from school, the children in their heads think, well, the first thing is food, then it's music, and they just go straight to it. I never have to ask them to do it. That's just part of the structure of their lives.
The older ones are probably doing a couple of hours, and at the weekends they'll probably be doing 3 hours. But again, it's around managing time. So if you're doing 3 hours on a Sunday, it sounds like a lot of practice, but if you manage a day, a waking day might be 12 hours. So if you do 3 hours practice, you've got 9 hours where you can do whatever you want.
On the weekend, sometimes I just want to read and relax. But most of the days I want to practice for an exam or a lesson to show that I put in the effort.
My siblings motivate me in a way, and it's just kind of how I was brought up. I've just always wanted to improve and always wanted to do well.
Maestro, she makes the biggest sound. Well, Connie is also quite loud. Jennifer's the softest player. When Jennifer's on there, it's a better day than if anyone else were around.
Me and Jennifer go on a rota. There are 2 other pianos, and we go on a rota, so one piano is better, the other piano is worse, and then we switch around. So we all get a time on a better piano.
It's more the result of practice that I enjoy as opposed to the actual practice. Because I love the feeling of being able to perform to an audience, that kind of motivates me to do my practice. We always come into each other's practice rooms and give each other comments with our sisters as well. I think also because we're siblings, it's easier to say, "Oh, that wasn't very good. You should do that again," as opposed to saying that to a friend. My little sister Mariette, I guess she probably looks up to me because she's just starting the cello, and to see an older brother do quite well must be quite nice for her.
Should we do one more? Oh, sorry.
That looks kind of. Yeah, if you look at my wrist and see the bow's parallel, and this wrist is also, these knuckles are also parallel. Maybe you're doing this. So you need to bring it forward. Try. And then imagine there's something in there. Just a bit of air there, little mouse. Remember, this finger has to be curved, not tense, just loose. There you go.
Thanks, Shaky.
Better already.
The Canet Masons put in hours of practice at home during the week, but it's on Saturdays when the lessons and intensive work really begins.
Morning, Shaku.
It's 4:30 a.m. and Caddy wakes Shaku and two of his sisters to take them to the Royal Academy of Music in London.
Morning, Shaku.
It's a 200-mile journey from Nottingham to London. Caddy has been accompanying her children on this train ride every Saturday for the past 10 years.
We do sacrifice a lot for Saturdays and for going to the academy, but the children would not be without it, so it doesn't feel like a sacrifice.
I'm usually asleep for the entire journey down, just because it's so early in the morning. I'm not a morning person. It's quite a commitment, but it's definitely always been worth it.
Music gives a huge amount of joy. They love it. I think it gives them a huge amount of self-confidence. It gives them some discipline.
Shaky can't walk with your eyes shut. Can't sleep and walk.
Founded in 1822, the Royal Academy of Music in London is one of the finest musical conservatoires in the world.
Morning.
Every Saturday, 200 of the best young musicians from all over the country come to the Junior Academy to improve on their musical ability.
It's very rare to see a family like this. They're here because of their excellent talents, their outstanding talent. The moment I heard Shaku the first time, and, you know, I can remember it very well, just, you know, sitting there thinking, wow, this is something special.
Ben Davies has been teaching Shaku since the age of 11.
He stands out, I think, his ability to communicate and make the music his own. As a teacher, I was always clear right from the beginning that there was something special, very special he had, and it was my job to help him with that, not get in the way of it. And that's what I've tried to do, and it's been, you know, it's been great fun, been a real adventure. You're not a great talker, but when he gets on the cello, he speaks to you.
I've been with my teacher for about 6 or 7 years, so he's a great friend as well as a great teacher, and so that relationship's really important. I hopefully kind of, with the cello, want to perform around the world and share the music that I love with audiences around the world, so hopefully I'll be able to do that.
Do the shift up to it, have a bit of a break, and then play with the sound you'd ideally want on that top note.
Anyone who thinks that how Shaku performed in the BBC Young Musicians sort of just happened, well, we know that's not the case. It doesn't just happen. Hours and hours every week of hard, serious, focused practice.
You can have your money back. That didn't work, did you?
Shaku's very much on the road to being an international concert soloist. I have no doubt about that.
He's getting a lot more attention, a lot more offers of concerts. What's exciting about it is you overnight get a very big profile.
My life has definitely changed a lot since the competition in terms of concerts. I'm just so much more busy, and I think although it's kind of winning the competition was an amazing achievement, I also have to realise that it's now the start of so much more, and now I have to work even harder.
Traditionally, there aren't that many solo cellists at any one time in the world. So the ones that succeed have to be very focused. The life of a soloist is tough. You know, people think it's very glamorous, but it isn't. To stay at the highest level, you have to be one tough cookie.
Sheku's next goal is to get better at the cello.
He has to keep improving, he has to keep working with Ben, he has to keep listening.
You have to be very careful about what things you accept and what things you turn down, and about timing. So he will have to just remain very grounded, very focused.
He's very young. I mean, he's still only 17. We just need to make sure that he doesn't get lonely during that period of transitioning from a boy to a man.
Wait, you actually won BBC? Oh my god! No, that's so cool. Well done, Shaky. Well done, Shaky.
Thank you very much.
Proud of you, boys.
Where's...
Yeah. We're just this posse. We're his fan club.
If I do the little girls packing tonight.
Otherwise it'll be a bit too hectic on Friday.
Running Sheku's diary has become an increasingly big job for Mum Caddy.
Got to go to Adam's Row or something, so we've got to work that out. The sheer amount of things that he's being offered are just unmanageable by an ordinary person like me. We'll probably sit on the train and work that out. But
the family have recently signed with agent Catherine Entercott to help manage Sheku's schedule and his burgeoning career.
I heard and saw the final, but having heard that performance, I thought, I have to work with this guy.
The itinerary is...
I'm going to have to draw it inside because there's not much space.
He's on a different email. I haven't even sorted it out.
He spoke to me musically in a way that not many artists do. And I just see the potential in the coming years for him to become a very, very important artist.
Okay. So, hang on. Yes. So 10:30. Got to get there for 10:30. So it gives us nearly an hour to get there. That interview finishes at 12. So you've got 10:30 to 12. You've got an interview.
We will be responsible for every aspect of Sheku's career. We need to be thinking about 2018, 2019, potential recording, repertoire and releases going forward. It's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle.
Sheku doesn't actually know his life. He just leaves everything in the hand of like mum and dad and his agent, and just kind of they're like, oh, you've got a concert next week. Sheku is like, oh, okay.
My job's to play cello, not organise my life.
I've grown up listening to a lot of Bob Marley and that kind of thing since after classical music, of course. He's my favourite artist. I just love his music, love his lyrics and the relaxed feel in his songs. And it's just cool. But I also think it's important to celebrate the music of black musicians because it's amazing kind of what they've achieved, and to appreciate that is really important. But obviously I am aware that of the lack of diversity in classical music and how it's portrayed.
Currently, just 5% of classical music professionals working in the UK identify as black and minority ethnic. But there is one person who is taking steps to change this. Double bassist Chichi Nwanoku has set up Europe's first professional orchestra, made up entirely of black and ethnic minority musicians.
I'm the founder of Chineke Foundation, which is an orchestra set up specifically to address the status quo in classical music. The thing with the Chineke Orchestra is that it's creating a platform for more people who don't otherwise get to play in some of these orchestras.
The Kane Mason siblings have performed on stage numerous times, but the forthcoming Chineke concert is something they are all looking forward to being part of.
I hope that me and my family can be an image where we can be seen as a group of people who prove that it's possible for people of our race to play classical music just as well as any other person.
It's quite a weird feeling to think that what we're doing is not very normal, just because growing up in that environment has always been normal to us.
Being a black family breaking into the classical world, we do feel in a way that it's been a struggle to get this far. There's definitely a cultural struggle and a struggle about expectation. When they go and perform, people don't expect them to be good. There's definitely that, but in some ways, that's a driver. The children, when they play, feel that if they play badly, then people think the black people play badly. They've always felt that they've had to be 10 times better than everybody else.
All of us have been kind of aware of being one of the few people in classical music and being black, and it's been something that we've always wanted to kind of change and make you know, being young, black and playing classical music a bit more normal.
One of the promises I made about Chineke is that everyone was equal, that there was not going to be a soloist coming on being the bee's knees, that all the musicians on the stage were important and playing a role in the mission, that the job that Chineke has to do.
When Sheku won BBC Young Musician and became the first black winner of the competition, Chichi changed her rules.
There's a list of people who can solo with the Chineke Orchestra, but Sheku has made history.
At the end of the summer, Sheku will make his Royal Festival Hall debut, playing Haydn's Cello Concerto in C.
Sheku, are you ready for your Haydn? I will be ready for my Haydn, yes. I'm very, very much on track.
With school now finished for summer, the Cannae Masons are taking a well-earned holiday to Snowdonia in Wales, and everybody has their own idea of what to pack.
We've got tennis rackets, we've got balls. Have we got balls? No, buckets and spades. We haven't got balls. Okay, we will get balls. Of course, clothes, pyjamas, raincoats, hoodies. I don't even know what all this stuff is. Bubble bath. We've got a bubble bath. Oh. You know, you wish you haven't emptied something out.
One sec.
I'm looking for the swimming caps. Oh, hang on.
Can I try this? It looks so yellow.
Yes! Mariatu found them.
And the goggles, because the goggles look really cool.
You won't need goggles on a beach.
No, but trust me, it looks so cool.
You might not even get to a beach. It might just rain every day.
Oh, and it makes the outside look so nice. I wish it actually looked like this.
The holidays to Wales are very important because we step outside of everything, the work, the pressure. Perhaps we can, that's not nice. Perhaps the cellos we can just put on people's laps. Just no, one cello we've got to have permanently in. The other one
Can just go on the lap.
can be, because it's temporary. Okay. Can I go to you first? Can I put this in the bag first?
Actually, Brian, can you stop that? It's horrible, please.
It's vile.
Fiver.
Vile.
This is like too much.
But even on holiday, the Cannae Masons' instruments come too.
You're squashing my toys!
Why didn't you play the flute or something?
But finding space for them all
A violin on my lap.
is a struggle.
Is it gone?
For the Cannae Masons, the summer holidays are one of the few opportunities they get to all spend together.
The fact that Stuart's with us for the whole time is a big thing as well, because he's usually away at work. So just being together as a family with nothing interrupting that, that's fantastic.
Way out.
Okay. Oh, when you're...
It's after dark, and the family get the chance to embrace their competitive spirit.
Chugging! I said
What was the word, Kenny?
Guzzling.
No one said guzzling.
But even on holiday, the siblings find time for their music.
Right, but just so you know, Shaky's practicing.
Sheku needs to practice his solo for the upcoming Chineke concert and wants input from his elder brother, Brymer.
Play the Haydn. Go from from that. Yeah, just make sure the first note of that sounds. That bow change can be slightly smoother. Yeah, maybe do that. I'd say Chineke is definitely, the most important thing that we've ever been a part of. And we believe passionately in the message that it brings. And I think because of that, Shaky's going to prepare for this concerto like nothing else.
Playing the concerto and being the first to perform a concerto with the orchestra, it's like I'm kind of representing quite a lot in this one performance.
But it's always inspiring being the majority as opposed to the minority. You've got quite a lot of responsibility on your shoulders because you're kind of standing for what it means to be a young black musician. You're kind of representing that, so make it exemplary.
Exactly. It's it's a lot of pressure, but I think at the same time it's a very exciting opportunity. So
it's an honour, really.
It's an honour. Yeah, it's an honour. Yeah.
It is an honour.
So.
Today, Caddy and Sheku have travelled to London to meet with his agent, Catherine, to discuss the demands of his newfound popularity.
Next steps, very difficult to work out because I'm not a musician, I don't have experience about where to go next. And so Catherine's very good at giving advice and saying to us, these are the things you need to think about.
We all feel on the back of the young musician win, there's a buzz about Sheku, there's a real interest. So it is important that probably late next year he make a recording so he remains in the public eye as he continues to develop. Even before the final, Sheku had been approached by one major record company, and subsequently I was approached by 3 other labels, and they're all very interested in working with him. So, what do you think, on reflection, about the Decca meeting? I was quite reassured by the fact that they seem really prepared to take a long-term view and not to rush you and to understand how important it is that you find time to study.
It felt like a very personal fit, I felt. It was about you, not just an artist in general.
They clearly see potential for Sheku to reach out to a different sort of audience to the normal classical buying consumer. It's critical that he stays grounded, and I feel it's my responsibility to ensure that it doesn't go to his head and things don't happen too quickly in the wrong way. You can be exceptionally talented and your career can plummet after a year or two if it's not carefully managed and handled in the right way.
I think Sheku's suddenly going to find that he has to cope with lots of things he's never experienced before. Sheku's got to shut out all the noise, all the hype. He's just got to dedicate himself to the music, and he's got to be his own man, and he must not do things that he doesn't feel is right for him to do.
One thing Sheku is committed to is trying to bring classical music to a younger audience.
We're coming for an interview for I Cool Kid.
We've had a lot of requests for interviews, and we've had approaches from youth internet channels.
Yeah. Second handshake.
Because they think he's exactly the kind of person, an artist who can engage with their audience. And it's very exciting.
Boys and girls, please welcome Sheku!
Do you hang out with people like Mick Jagger?
Yeah, of course. I'll say hi for him.
And the great thing about Sheku is that young people do think that he's hip and cool, and so they will listen to him in a way that they might not with some of his older colleagues.
I'm definitely getting better at interviews and speaking in front of cameras. Hopefully I'm doing very well at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm a pro yet, but I'm getting there.
Somebody who understands the pressures of being a successful musician and living life in the spotlight is international violinist and fellow BBC Young Musician winner Nicola Benedetti.
Okay, I'm coming down to get you.
Sorry, my door is just so annoying sometimes. It's so good to see you. How are you doing? Congratulations. Having watched from the sidelines since his win, I can see a lot of parallels between what I went through and what he's going through. And one of the difficulties he will find, because he will not be short of engagements, is balancing development with live performance, with a professional life, a professional career. That can be a difficult thing.
What would you say are the worries about being exposed by a competition like that?
The feeling of like all eyes on you, that's not gonna dissipate. That only intensifies. The main thing that I can say is for you to try to understand as seriously as possible who you are inside, what you want to say, what you want to do with the platform you've been given. So start to deal with your life philosophy at this stage. First of all, it will strengthen your playing and your musicianship, but it will act as something of a barrier and like a protective barrier around you against people that may seem like they're doing things that are for you, but they're not really for you. If you could look into the next 2 years and say your biggest apprehension is X, what would it be? Does anything stress you out?
Not really. Not really. I mean, I guess school exams probably more than performances, to be honest.
I love it. Oh God, yeah. I mean, fair enough. They stress me out a lot. You need to get stressed about something. You need to have a level of anxiety and angst about something, because maybe you'll get your heart broken. That will do the trick. Because the music demands that of you. So you just have to, like, that's the challenge I'm setting you.
With his big solo performance fast approaching, the Canet Masons still have one important task to focus on.
Okay, so we need to try and find a good cello, because you need something that's just going to project through the whole room, really, don't you? If you're going to play at the Royal Festival Hall, you need a big concert cello. We just have to carry on searching, because obviously we can't buy one. The costs just build. The lessons, the instruments, the maintaining of the instruments. For example, rehairing a cello or a violin bow costs about £60. If a string breaks, it costs £85 a string for the cello. It's had a massive impact on maintaining the house. And I always feel embarrassed inviting people around, because I think they're going to notice the wallpaper peeling, things that we can't fix. So if some plumbing's not working, we will deal with that leak for much longer than we should with a bucket.
It's 7 days before the Chineke Orchestra's concert. Sheku has been given the news that he is to be reunited with the cello he played at the BBC Young Musician final.
Yeah, no, I've definitely missed it.
Have you named it?
I haven't named it, no. I'm not.
Will you name it?
It's not mine, so I feel it's not mine to name. And then I get too attached, and then
yeah, heartbreak.
Once it's got a name, then it's
too much.
Festival Hall is a huge hall to fill. It's my first time playing in that hall. So it'd be great to have an instrument that's gonna help me. As in Harry Potter, you know, the one chooses the wizard, because, you know, some people love an instrument and others it would sound completely terrible. So it's, I mean, not to that extreme. When an instrument's good, it's generally good for everyone. But there's subtle things that each individual player looks for in an instrument.
The cello is being looked after by Florian Leonard, a renowned string instrument dealership in Hampstead, London.
The instrument that we're going to be laying Sheku is a very special cello made by the brothers Amati. This cello is dated from between 1610 and 1625. So one of the first cellos ever made. And that's what makes it special, rarity. Come on in. We will obviously want to work with someone like Sheku. He is such a good cellist. We have this cello that we can work with someone with. Who's it going to be? It's going to be this guy. All right. Here we are. Looks the same?
Yeah, definitely missed it.
For me, as a sort of geek of these things, I do think that it is incredible that such an old instrument it still survives. It does look amazing.
Yeah.
And it has been through, you know, quite a number of players' hands who've used it quite a lot. Yeah. And I just think it's an incredible thing to think that we were not able to improve upon this. Like, it's not like the car where we're just constantly improving. We still go like, wow, I need that thing that was made 400 years ago. That's going to be the one. It's very cool. Should we take it down and try it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
It looks like the cello is just an extension of your body when you play that cello. It's just kind of like just carving out whatever you want.
It's great to have an instrument like this to play on. Yeah. Just out of interest, how much would an instrument like this be worth?
It's currently insured for several £100,000.
Quite scary to kind of walk with that on my back. See you.
Take care. Nice to meet you.
Definitely very sorted for the concert in terms of got the right instrument, learnt the piece, and now it's just for the rehearsals, so it should be good.
It's the day of the first rehearsal for Chineke. The 72 members of the orchestra have 6 days to prepare for the concert at the Royal Festival Hall in London. This is the first time they have all met, let alone played together.
Hi, how are you? That's my first time in the Chineke orchestra. It's strange to see so many black faces in an whole orchestra. It's quite touching. You know, I'm actually myself surprised to see so many black people playing so well classical music.
Everybody can do it. Blacks can do it. The Indians are doing it. The Chinese are doing it. Everybody should do it. Africans should do it. Yeah, that's the point.
Wow, that's the most dramatic silence I've ever heard in my life. I can't thank you enough for all being here. I'm Chichi Manoku, by the way, just for those of you that I haven't really met properly. For me, this is my other family. And we've added to our, not only to our numbers, but we've added to our reach of countries. We've got Kenya with us today. We've got Aboriginal with us. We've got Egypt. We've got Mexico. We've got Portugal. We've got...
Germany.
It's really, really crucial that the way that the Chineke orchestra behaves has to be exemplary. Of course, there's always going to be a little bit of extra notice because of who we are and what we represent. But there will be people who will want to see us fall through the cracks or not play very well or not behave very well. So we have to just be on our guard. Chineke 2016 is about to happen. Thank you.
What my family and young black musicians are starting to do now is obviously very different to the general image of classical music, but I think if we kind of do it to such a high level, then it becomes something to look up to and to be inspired by.
It's the day of the Chineke concert. The Kane Masons have arrived in anticipation of a huge night for their family. The orchestra have one final rehearsal before their biggest performance to date.
Yeah, I'm excited actually. Yeah, it's a big place. It's a big hall. I can't believe Sheiku's here, and then of course, you know, and Brimer and Niceta. So it's great, you know, it's just fantastic. I hope I don't get into floods of tears later on, but we'll see. You never know, do you?
I'm really excited for the concert, and it feels really empowering to be amongst all these musicians, really.
Oh, it's a huge day, and I'm feeling nervous and excited. Nervous first, then excited. You're the other way around.
Yeah.
So.
My cousin, you know, is flown over especially from Antigua. He's managed to get here by hook or by crook just to see.
Via Barbados, I think.
Via Barbados from Antigua, just for this concert.
Yeah,
so,
you
know, it's wonderful.
You notice I put on the Antigua ties. Right? I'm representing all the Antiguan family who could not be here, and I just had to come. Really looking forward to the performance.
With the classical music press out in force and a discerning audience taking their seats, the nerves are affecting everyone.
I'm feeling in a sort of bubble, actually, slightly wrung out. The tears happened all before I left the house this morning. You know, I woke up and thought, gosh, today is the day.
It'll definitely be an emotional moment. It's like walking out with your family, and because we've been working kind of so closely together for the whole week, and then now is the kind of time to perform and to show it to the audience. It's quite yeah, it's going to be good.
There are a few things that can go wrong. We've all come from different walks of life. No two same people of us have worked together. So we've all come from different styles, different ideas, different attitudes, different training. And now, but you know, we're bringing people in from across the globe. The work of Chineke is not just for the benefit of black and minority ethnic people. The entire world will benefit from a more diverse inclusion in classical music.
I think there'll be a lot of expectation for my performance, but I guess it's just playing Haydn in the festival. Yeah, and just playing Haydn in the festival hall. Playing Haydn. Standard. Yeah.
Me particularly, I feel pressure because I'm sitting next to, you know, people that have graduated from, you know, world-class conservatoires, and I haven't even had my conservatoire education. I'm just a schoolboy, really.
If anyone can do it, it's you. And you've brought so much to the whole project, and just, you know, tonight's your night, really. Yeah. And Chineke. Yeah. So enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, on we go with a purposeful stride. Toi toi, everyone.
I think there's nowhere Sheku can't go if he puts his mind and his talent to it. I think he has a fantastic opportunity to be one of the great cellists.
And there's absolutely no reason why he will not be the next big international name.
His potential is endless. It's really, at this point, just about what he chooses to do, where his heart lies, and where he wants to channel his energies.